Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. First of all, I post a new series over Anime King Prince, so go ahead and check that out, link will be down in the description. So if you want to check it out, go ahead guys. But today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Was Created by the Otsutsukis. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for their stories coming your way over Anime King 2 and Anime King. Yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2 and Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode start? The intro. So, the last part that we left off, it was a rather trying night. There was many things going on at once. As the people of Konoha were in a state of panic, the massive nine-tailed beast was causing chaos and havoc over the village. As everyone was trying, until it was flashed away by their fourth Hokage himself. People were scared for the fourth Hokage's safety, but they could not do anything to intervene. Harrison and Jiraiya arrived, but it was too late as a barrier had already been set up, stopping them from getting involved. Meanwhile, something was hurtling from space at an impressive rate. It didn't take long for a said object to land right in the basket of one of the babies. There were 3 of them. Said object broke as a strange golden liquid fused with one of the babies. Minato was about to perform the technique to seal the 9 tails away until said baby, being Naruto, Uzumaki Namikaze, rose from this basket. He then started to cry. As his cry brought forward lightning out of the air that slammed viciously in to the 9 tails. Screaming, he lifted up with nothing but raw, unknown energy as he threw it. Everyone of Konoha saw the massive beast about to lever their village by landing on it. But to their surprise, that is not what happened instead. The baby released an explosive wave of energy from his mouth that slammed into the massive nine-tailed beast and literally obliterated it. The chakra then rushed back towards the baby as he just swallowed it. He then floated back down as he was caught by Minato. Several events happened afterwards. For one, Kushina was in a bad state. Having the 9 tails forcefully ripped out of her and given birth, it was putting a lot of strain on her body because the 9-tailed chakra, some of its corrosiveness had been poured into her system. Minato quickly told Jiraiya to get Tsunade back as he went himself as well. A moment Jiraiya found the location as he made a deal with her, so she came back to the village. She knew that Kushina was angry at her, but she did, and she saved her life. When Kushina woke up, Naruto was still asleep, as he just wouldn't wake up. There was nothing physical wrong with him, but the more they tried, he just wouldn't wake up. He was just sleeping. Some time passed as he finally woke up. Kushina and Tsunade had a heart-to-heart, as Tsunade thought about staying in the village. So with that, Naruto woke up, but his eyes were different. They were no longer that sparkling blue. Instead, they were a star. A strange golden star, 7-point star in each. So time passed, as the parents never told their kids what happened that night. A great catastrophe had been prevented, and now they were here alive with their children. Tsunade had stayed in the village. After she had spoken with Kushina, and she decided to run the hospital, training new medics. Naruto and his siblings were quite unique. They did possess half Uzumaki inside of them, and they were also from their father genes, so it was a natural that they were special. The age of 6-year-old they were showing that they were not really normal kids, but Naruto was different from all of them, as we found Naruto on top of a massive stone as he looked over the village. He knew that he was something else as well. He could remember everything else from his other life, as he had fused completely with himself. He was not exactly Naruto alone, he was something else, as he was created by the Otsutsukis. Something that was created to... He shook his head as he didn't want to remember that, but he was something else. And with that he got amazing abilities. He could do things that no ordinary people could do, but for now he would keep it from them. He knew that he was still Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, but he was also something else as well. But he would keep that hidden because he was on the run, as he was sure that they wouldn't find him here. But Naruto knew a lot more than he was letting on, not to mention the theory and the existence of chakra. Everything. He was quite special after all. We then skipped to an unknown place as he was a man. Strange eyes that were white, as he was rather furious, as he looked towards a section of a lab, and it was gone. So yeah guys, so basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place and check it for yourself. So to be in this new episode, we begin this episode with two men speaking to each other. One of them more angry, the other one seemed, well, afraid. What do you mean, it's gone? The voice was dangerous as he spoke. Answer me, he said! Sorry, Lord Momoshiki, but I don't... The man known as Momoshiki moved forward and gripped the throat of the man that was speaking, as he gripped it really tightly. As the man was fighting against a hand, but Momoshiki gripped it, as he started to squeeze. You better find a way to track that damn thing down, and this time find a way to properly contain it, or else it's your head, Momoshiki said, releasing the man down to the ground, as the man gasped as he gripped his throat. The Otsutsuki walked away, leaving the other man there. He seemed to be an Otsutsuki as well, but not as powerful or up in the higher levels. He was wearing a lab coat. His lab was not for healing but more on the experiment side. After all, he and a few others had been the ones that had created that thing. And now it was gone. Someone. As Momoshiki stepped out, he was furious. Kinshiki. Yes, Momoshiki said. Go and find what the hell happened. And who caused that damn thing to escape. I fear if I stay there for too long, I will snap his neck. So go and find out what happened and report back to me. Yes, sir. With that, Kinshiki made his way off, as Momoshiki slammed his fist into the wall. He was a part of that damn thing creation. But from the moment it started to gain thoughts, thinking that he could do more, he wanted it to be shut down. But the damn doctor didn't listen to him, telling him that everything will be fine. But now look where they are. He took a calming breath. Once that thing was properly contained again, he will throw it into the abyss and erase all subject of it completely. But it must be found immediately. Who knows what that thing was up to right now? Meanwhile, the place was wonderful, calm and beautiful, as Naruto Namikaze was lying down on the monument of the fourth Hokage's head, looking up to the heavens. It was such a peaceful and beautiful scene. He had really come to enjoy everything about life. It was just so wonderful. Don't get it wrong, he was Naruto Namikaze. But that thing that infected him when he was younger was something that was created by people that call themselves gods, the Otsutsukis. He got all of its memories, its identity, it merged with him. His mind was young back then, and it hadn't fully formed yet, so it had completely fused with him, as he had gained its personality, everything about it. The experience, the thoughts, and not to mention the power that it came with. But he was still Naruto Namikaze. But he knew that he was being hunted by these people, and they would stop at nothing to get him back. But too bad for them, he was completely merged with him now, and there was no separating them. Naruto Namikaze had to be killed, and the thing would die as well, but he was completely one person now, not two anymore. When he had slept, his mind had merged together, and they had become one entity. He was still going by the name Naruto Namikaze, and those people were still his family. Minato, and Kushina, and his sister and brother. He stretched as he got up, looking over the village. He has been trapped away for a very long time. Used, discarded, just because he didn't want to follow the regime. They caged him away like he was some kind of animal. But screw them. He was his own person now, and they would not take that away from him. They will not strip his identity away. So with that, he got to his feet, as he took in a deep breath, calmly making his way down the stairs. The smaller things in life, he really found it immaculate. He's been alive for a long time now. Memories, experience from the past. It made him take the time to look at the smaller things in life. But he knew for certain that there was a Otsutsuki that came to this planet. But they did not try to completely suck it dry. Instead, they seem to have lived here, and pass on the usage of energy, which these people call chakra. And it seems that they had split the 10 tails, and created 9 tail beasts. He had read. His mind was a lot faster than most, and not to mention, he could consume knowledge in seconds. And he read a lot. The tail beasts were split by someone known as Hoshirama Senju, but he had devoured the 9 tail chakra when he was younger. His parents hadn't talked about that. They just want to leave that in the past, it seems. And most of the village believed that Minato was the one that killed the 9 tails. As Naruto calmly made his way down the stairs, leaving the monument as he embarked upon the street, he was greeted and waved to by many people, as they saw him with admiration and love. He was the son of their hero after all, and there was a lot placed on his shoulders, high expectations. But his parents were always civil with him, as they did not push him to do anything that he didn't want. They took care of them, they loved them, with all of their hearts. And being what he was, Naruto could feel raw emotions from people. Not to mention he could tell when you were lying. So he knew that they always spoke the truth. But some things they kept to themselves, which he didn't mind. After all, he kept things to himself as well. He made his way towards the training ground, which was isolated from most. Arriving there, he simply looked around. It didn't take long for him to find what he was looking for. As kunais came whipping out of the trees, they came towards him at a fast rate. He spun on his heel as he deflected them, pulling a kunai out of his sleeve. He then turned as he blocked a hail of shurikens, as he was surrounded by the weapons. But it was a trap though, as wires attached to each of the weapons spring from the trees. As Naruto saw they were about to wrap him up, he vanished, replacing himself with a log as the log got wrapped up in the wires. He appeared upside down on one of the tree branches. That is when he noticed the explosive tag. As he jumped off, boom! The explosion went off, but he was already on the ground. He ducked as a kunai whipped towards his face, but he reached out and caught it. He then used a kunai to block the sword that almost sliced him. As he pushed back the blade, the person wasn't as strong as him, but the person leaped away. She had long black hair as she returned back to the trees. Her voice then echoed around. "Your skills are sharp as ever," she said. But where will the next attack come from? It could be here, there, or maybe. Naruto spun around as he caught her wrists. "Right here," said Naruto, as he poked her right in the forehead. But her blade was inches away from his neck. "You let your guard down," she said, "and now you're dead." "Oh, is that right?" said Naruto, as she felt a kunai pressing up in her back. She glanced behind her. It seems I was the one that let my guard down. But when did you... "The moment I stepped in the training field," said Naruto. "I knew that you were here. You're the one that keep on telling me to watch myself and keep my skills sharp. So did you really think I was stepping here unprepared?" "Well, I guess you're right," she said. She raised her hands. "You won this time, fair and square." As he pulled back his kunai and gave her a smile, she smiled back at him. She had long dark hair. She was wearing a black t-shirt with the Uchiha crest right in the center, and it was on the back as well. She was wearing a dark skirt with black tights underneath, and she was also wearing comfortable flat sandals. Her name was Remy Uchiha. Well, her real name was Remiel Uchiha, but Naruto called her Remy. She was one of his closest friends. She was the sister of Sasuke Uchiha, one of his other friends. Remy idolized Itachi Uchiha, her older brother, as she saw him different from the rest of the clan. Everyone else focused on their Sharingan too much, but Itachi, he didn't let the Sharingan be a crutch for him. She wanted to be like him someday. But the girl was a special person herself. Because of all the training and her natural talent, she was special. That brought forth a lot of jealousy with her other brother Sasuke, as he always said that his father was paying more attention to her. As Naruto noticed, there was some bad blood between them, but they were still family. As Remy tried to mend the wounds between them, but Sasuke, well, the jealousy was a lot. But Sasuke was still strong within his own right. Itachi had told him that many times before, and not to be so jealous of his sister. And that caused him to train a lot harder than everyone else, pushing himself to always be better than her. He wanted to show her up. But Remy, she was as calm as Itachi. The both of them had a similar attitude. So she never went out of her way to show Sasuke that she was better than him. She always held her ground no matter what, never pushing herself to show him that, well, she was actually stronger. And that was something Naruto could appreciate in her. Despite being stronger, she never tried to humiliate him by showing that she was far above him in some regards, especially Kunai and Shuriken. She was a whiz in those arts. But Naruto was the same thing, but he always lessened himself, not to go anything above what a standard ninja of his age would be. There was a reason, because he was far more powerful, but he never really pushed himself before. He always kept things leveled and minimum, but he was still one of the highest members in the class. His brother Menma was number 1 though. Well, that was because of Naruto not showing off too much, but Menma had adopted his father's speed, natural speed without a higher shin. Menma was fast. His tactic relied on fast strikes, and he was quick with it. His sister had become like a carbon copy of Tsunade and his mother. Mixed with that raw strength of hers, well, she was rather powerful. So Remy, said Naruto, tomorrow's the exam. How do you feel? She looked towards him with a bland face. Really? She formed a quick hand sign as a clone, appear in reality. She then had that clone transform. Not to badmouth Konoha or anything, but the standards for passing the academy is insanely low. Yeah, I guess you're right about that, said Naruto, as it was just a clone jutsu and the transformation jutsu. The both of them started to walk back. This was their routine sometime. She left clues around the village, and it was his job to find her, and then she would attack him to see if his skills are up to date. She did it every now and then, but he enjoyed the challenge and it was fun, and he liked hanging out with her as well. As they were making their way, they got interrupted by someone. What's this? Is this a date? The both of them turned as they saw the gossip, Ino Yamanaka. No, said Remy. Oh, you bet it isn't, because Naruto-kun is not yours, said Ino as she glared at Remy. Remy gave her a blank look, as that was a problem for her. The other girls, the fangirls, a lot of them, they didn't know what it means to be a ninja. Only thing they thought about was boys, and how they look, as Remy hated that. Despite being stunning herself, she never really focused that much on her looks. It was just natural beauty for her. But the thing was, Naruto had a lot of fangirls. He was the son of their hero after all. Not to mention his good looks. And not to mention the way he acted. He was so kind to people. Despite the fangirls being loud and annoying, he never shouted at them. He was always kind and sweet, and that made them love him even more. But they always accused Remy of taking him away, and that pissed her off. So Naruto-kun, said Ino as she came over, once we graduate from the academy, would you like to go and celebrate with me? Sorry, Ino, said Naruto. Maybe another time. I'm sure my mother is gonna do some kind of celebration. Oh, she said. Hey, do you mind if I come? She asked. Well, I don't see a problem, he said. As long as your parents are okay with it, he said to her. Oh sure they will be, she said. So, I can come? Well yeah, said Naruto. Alright then, she said. I'll see you then. As she made her way off, with a pep in her step. You know you could have said no, right? Naruto turned towards Remy. But you're coming as well, he said. Yes, but I'm close to your family more than her. Yeah, but I just don't want to hurt her feelings, said Naruto. She's annoying, said Remy. Come on, she's not that bad. Remy gave him a blank look, as she just kept on staring at him, as Naruto chuckled awkwardly. Alright, fine, I'll give you that one. But come on, let's go, he said. Time skip. So, having your girlfriend drop you off, said Mito, as she saw her brother return home. As Naruto sighed. You're the second one today, he said. As Mito looked at him, she was dressed in a battle yukata, with an obi tied around her waist and black pants. Her and Remy were the biggest rivals. They clashed in ideals, in abilities, in all ways. The both of them tied at the academy. She's not my girlfriend, said Naruto. Well, you two have been spending a lot of time together, said Mito. And you know you can tell me the truth, right? I mean, I wouldn't tell anyone. Yes, I know I can, but she's not my girlfriend, said Naruto. As he walked past her, you can only lie for so long, said Mito, as he shook his head and walked inside. Mom, he said as he called out. Yes, honey, said Kushina as she was in the kitchen. She came out as she poked her head. Oh, you're home. Had a good day, she asked. Yeah, it was great, he said. You mind if Ino stopped by tomorrow? Well, as long as her parents are okay with it. I don't see why not, said Kushina. It was then that he heard another voice. Huh. So your girlfriend is stopping by tomorrow, huh? As Naruto poked his head in the kitchen as he saw Menma cutting up some fruit. You're one to talk. Where's Hinata? Naruto asked. As Menma looked away. I don't know what you're talking about. How should I know? He said. Then why are you not looking at me? Said Naruto. What? Nervous? Embarrassed? As he chuckled to himself, causing Kushina to chuckle as well. Not you too, Mom, said Menma. Oh, sorry, honey, she said, holding her mouth so she wouldn't laugh anymore. When the both of them bantered, it was quite funny, and she couldn't help herself sometime. As Naruto made his way upstairs, waving his hand, he just wished that things could stay like this. He had went out of his way to make sure that he would not be found. There was no way that he could find him. He loved these people. They were his family. This was his home. And if those bastards came here, he clenched his fists. They had the means to capture him. That is what he feared, being captured and locked away. If it wasn't for her, he would still be there, caged and locked away forever. He hoped that she was doing well. After all, she was the one that gave him a new life, by freeing him and sending him off. He wished he could have taken her with him, but they would have slaughtered her if they found her. And he couldn't allow that to happen. But he hoped that she was okay, as he plopped down on his bed. Time skip at the office. Minato Namikaze, as his children were taking the exam today, to become Genins. He had no question or doubt that they would pass. They already had the means and the skills to do it. All of his kids were quite something unique. They would have made the perfect team together, but their strengths. It would be unfair for the other teams, so he had to split them apart and create teams. As he already got the list of who would pass the exam, their grades, and their activities in class so far, the Uchihas were coming along greatly. There was some mess back in the past with the Uchihas, but Minato was able to sort it out. The first thing that he did was take away much of the power from the Civilian Council, and not to mention the advisors Danzo, and Homura and Koharu. He allowed the Uchihas more space to move around the village, because they were being confined and blocked out like they were some kind of chain animal, which Minato did not like. So he gave them more space. He had spoke with Fukaku, and they came to an agreement, so that all clans could feel welcome within Konoha, and not to mention the Uchihas were a founding clan. He looked towards the clock. They should be doing their tests right now. Meanwhile, the academy, as Naruto brought his hand together, 3 clones poof into reality. They then transformed, him included, to a perfect copy of his father. As Aruka gave him a smile, excellent job as always, Naruto, he said. As he clipped the board, here you go. You are hereby honored, fellow genin of Konoha. As Naruto bowed his head, thank you, Aruka Sensei. As he stepped out of the room, as Naruto was one of his best students, he was polite, he was kind. He did what was asked of him, and not to mention, he was one of the top students in the class. But Aruka always felt like he was holding back. But now he was going to become a genin, and Aruka knew that he would be something special. The rest of the kids came in, as some of them failed, but most of them got their headbands, as they were now officially genins of the Hidden Leaf Village. Time skip. His mother liked to celebrate a lot of things, and this was a big achievement. Them being close to the Hyugas, Hinata, and her little sister came over, along with their mother Hitomi. As she was good friends with Kushina, Mikoto came over as well, along with Remy and Sasuke. Itachi was also there as well, as he congratulated Naruto and the other two on passing the exam. But it was a showing. After all, everyone knew that they already had the capability of passing. The kids were unique after all, as Naruto had brought Ino over as well. She clutched onto his arm the entire night, thinking that this was some sort of date. But he didn't see it that way. He liked Ino, but not that way. Hinata though had a crush on Menma, as it was rather obvious. He seemed to like her as well, judging by his cheeks getting all red. Shikamaru had come over as well, along with his mother Yoshino. Mito was always berating him for being too lazy, which he was, as he was one of Naruto's closest friends as well. The two had spent a lot of time just watching the clouds. Out of most people, Shikamaru found it rather calming to watch the clouds with Naruto, because most people thought that his hobby was stupid and lazy, but Naruto did not see it that way. Naruto enjoyed taking his time to just watch the entire place go by. His father finally came, as he congratulated them all on a job well done, and now becoming genins of Konoha. All of the children were there, as he congratulated them as well. They all felt proud of themselves, as they were now shinobis of the Hidden Leaf, to protect the Hidden Leaf Village with all that they got. Kumo and Konoha had signed a ceasefire. A few Kumo delegates had came. Unknown to Minato, the Raikage was thinking about planning to steal some of the bloodlines in Konoha, but the Raikage decided against that. Maybe if it was the third Hokage, he would have done something like that, but Minato was not someone to be trifled with, even though his calm, sweet attitude towards his family and the ones that he cared about. The man was ruthless on the battlefield. He had slaughtered 1,000 ninja after all. He was not someone to be trifled with. So Konoha and Kumo had a ceasefire, so their shinobis would not attack each other. But the Hidden Stone would never sign something like that, because Oniki hated Minato. Most of them did, because he slaughtered once again 1,000 ninjas. The night went by rather quickly, as Ino gave Naruto a kiss on his cheek for good luck. Know that he was genin as she ran off, as everyone could see that she had a crush on him, but Naruto just did not see her that way. But she would try her best though. The next day, as Naruto, Mainman, and Mito were making their way towards school. So who do you think you're gonna get on your team? Said Minma, his hands were behind his head. Well, I doubt any one of us will land on the same team, said Mito. But as long as I don't have anyone too cocky or too stupid on my team, I'll be fine, she said. What about you, she said, looking towards Naruto. I don't really mind, said Naruto, as he glanced up towards the heavens. Even if it's Inabi, she asked. As Naruto sighed, Inabi Uchiha, he didn't really like Naruto that well. The both of them were in the same class. Maybe it was jealousy, seeing that Naruto was better than him, and he could never get the one up on Naruto. But the thing was, he couldn't get the one up on Menma either, so why was he so focused on Naruto? Naruto did not know why, but he never really get along with that guy. He always glared at him, always trying to prove that he was a Uchiha elite. Not even Sasuke was that bad. Well, it would be rather problematic if he landed on my team, said Naruto. But it's not up to me, he said, as he looked up. Finally making their way towards the academy, they sat down. As they greeted a lot of people, Aruka came in the class. Alright everyone, quiet down, he said. First of all, congratulations for making it a genin. From here on out, you're ninjas of the Hidden Leaf, where you will fight and do everything in your power to protect this village. I know that you're all eager to hear what team you're on, So why don't we get straight to it, he said. As he started out from Team 1, when he reached Team 6, Naruto heard his sister's name. Mito Namikaze. Kiba Inazaka. As Mito frowned at that, as she glanced towards Kiba. As he was looking her up and down, Kiba was a shameless flirt and a perv, who thought that he was top dog. He always came with this alpha attitude, but he should realize by now he was not the strongest. And Inabi Uchiha. As Mito glanced over towards Inabi, while his hatred of her brother, she didn't like that all that much. Because he had no reason to hate her brother, he was just jealous. But he was a decent ninja after all. He was not that bad. This team was good enough, she thought to herself. Your Jonin sensei will be Genma Shirinui. She thought to herself. Genma. As she knew that Jonin sensei, that always had a senbon in his mouth. Perhaps he wouldn't be a bad sensei. She didn't know just of yet, although she did have Snally and her mother helping her in certain regards, even if this sensei could not. Team 7 will consist of Naruto Namikaze, Remy, Uchiha, and Shikamaru Nara. Naruto smiled at that. No, that was a good team, as he was with two of his closest friends. Your Jonin sensei will be Kakashi Hatake. Team 8 will consist of Menma Namikaze, Sasuke Uchiha, and Yakumo Kurama. Your Jonin sensei will be Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke was surprised. His sensei was going to be his older brother? No, he didn't expect that. As Remy was surprised as well. Itachi was going to be his sensei. Team 9 was still in circulation. Team 10 will consist of Shino Aburami, Hinata Hyuga, and Choji Akimichi. Your Jonin sensei will be Asuma Saratobi. Team 11 will consist of Ame Uzuki, and Ino Yamanaka and Sakura Haruno. Your Jonin sensei will be Kurina Yuai. Ino slammed her head down. Why? Why did she have to get forehead girl? She prayed last night for Naruto to be on her team. It seems like Ame didn't listen to her prayers. As she sighed in annoyance, looking towards her team members. Haruka then went on to give him a speech as he told them that they should wait on their Jonin senseis. Naruto sighed. If he knew Kakashi well, which he did, he wouldn't be here for some time. What's wrong? Asked Remy. Our sensei, Kakashi. He will take his time getting here, said Naruto. She narrowed her gaze towards him. Oh, that's right. He's your father's student, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's right, said Naruto. And he's always late. Seems like you got stuck with Kakashi, said Menma. He's gonna take a long while to get here, he said, coming over towards where Naruto was. Well, that's good, said Shikamaru. How so, said Naruto. I have enough time to sleep. As he closed his eyes and placed head on the table. Remy sighed as she shook her head, and she turned towards her brother. It seems that big brother Itachi would be your sensei, huh? Yeah, it seems that way, said Sasuke. She smiled at him. Well, now you're gonna be a lot stronger than me, huh? After all, you have him all the time to train you. And who said I'm not already stronger than you? Said Sasuke, as he looked at her with a challenging look. Who knows, she said. As she liked to joke around with him, but sometimes his jealousy get the better of him, thinking that his parents did not love him as much as he loved her. But he was just letting his mind be clouded by thoughts that shouldn't be there. As Naruto glanced up when someone stepped in front of his desk, he glanced up towards Inabi. He had the normal features of a Uchiha. As his cold black eyes looked down towards Naruto. Can I help you with something? Now that we're officially Jennings, I say it's time that we have a real spar. I'm confused. Didn't we already do that a lot of times, said Naruto. No, you're wrong, said Inabi. What do you mean, said Naruto. Before we had limits. We couldn't use ninjutsu or anything else. Just pure taijutsu. But now, I can go all out and finally prove that I'm better than you. Well, I refuse, said Naruto. What? You afraid? He asks. Even if I am, so what, said Naruto. What's the point of fighting a fellow? Leave Shinobi. You will take my challenge. so I can finally prove that you're not better than me. Why don't you go and challenge Menma, or someone else, or Sasuke, to prove that you're the better Uchiha or something else? Why do you want to challenge me? As Inbi clenches fists, you will accept my challenge, he said once again, as he refused to answer Naruto's question, as he walked off. What's up with him? Said Naruto as he turned towards Remy. I have no idea, said Remy. His hatred for Naruto didn't really make sense, as there was no point, but he just didn't like him that much. While Naruto didn't mind it, he does really like people that hate him, as he always trying to find a way to make people like him. Well, it was a part of his whole personality. So he didn't know why Inbi just hate him for no reason. As he sighed, the rest of the Jonin senseis came in, as Itachi arrived, as he greeted his sister as well, before he told Sasuke and the others come with him. As Menma gave Naruto a nod as he left, Genma came in, as Mito smiled towards her brother as she left. Naruto sighed as he leaned back, as they were the last ones left in the class. How long does it usually take? Asked Remy, as she glanced towards Naruto. He's always off on the road of life. What the hell does that mean? She said. You'll find out when you see him, said Naruto. Of course she knew of Kakashi Hatake. He had a Sharingan. His teammate had died, and he was a Uchiha, and he gave Kakashi Sharingan in death. Her father had respect. What was his name again? Yeah, Obito Uchiha, which is to allow the Sharingan to stay with Kakashi. The door slid open as Kakashi stepped inside, as Naruto raised an eyebrow. You're early, he said. Well, it seems like your father informed your mother that I will be your Jonin sensei, and she came by to pay me a visit, said Kakashi, as Naruto started to laugh rather loudly, as he found it rather hilarious. So that's why you're early, huh? Well, good incentive then. As Naruto patted Shikamaru in the back. Hey, wake up, he said. Huh? Shikamaru said, looking around. What time is it, he asked. Time to get up, said Naruto as he pulled him to his feet. Shikamaru staggered a bit, but he was on his feet. As he yawned, as Naruto was still finding the whole thing funny, his mother must have threatened Kakashi to come early or else. After all, this was the first Naruto was seeing him this early. So what now, Naruto asked. Meet me on the roof, said Kakashi, as he was gone in a flash. The group made their way towards the roof, as they sat down. How about we start off things with introducing yourself? You know your likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams, and all that. Alright. How about you go first, he said, looking towards Remy. My name is Remy Uchiha. I like dongos, training, learning new jutsus. I dislike many things. Firstly, tardiness. People that don't take their duties seriously, she said, as she was staring directly at Kakashi as he spoke. I dislike fangirls, who think that being pretty is basically being a ninja. And I dislike people that slack off in their ninja training when they can do better, she said as she glanced towards Shikamaru. As Shikamaru turned his head, pretending not to look at her. My dream is to become one of the best kunoichis in the elemental nation, and to also show my clan that relying too much on the Sharingan is a crutch. And just because you have it doesn't mean you're unstoppable, she said. She and her big brother Itachi had the same mindset. Well, she idolized him as well. Sound dream. How about you, he said, looking toward Shikamaru. Shikamaru yawned. My name is Shikamaru Nara. I like sleeping, watching the clouds, and relaxing. I dislike being waking up from my nap. I dislike people that are too troublesome, people that are too annoying. My dream is that a hidden leaf open a position where I can take, where I can just relax all day and watch the clouds. As Naruto blinked, really? That's it? Yeah, pretty much, he said, as he rested his hands on the back of his head. Despite his lazy attitude, Kakashi and the other Jonin sensei that spoke to Minato, and they knew about the students already, and the boy was incredibly smart. He was just lazy, most like the Naras. They were really lazy. But Shikamaru took it to another level, it seems. And how about you, he said, looking towards Naruto. Well, The name is Naruto Namikaze. I like training, spending time with my family, watching nature, relaxing, and just, well, being a part of the Hidden Leaf, he said. It's rather wonderful. Naruto was rather odd, in certain sense. For a kid, he wasn't really energetic that much. He was a decent fighter, and not to mention he was quite smart, but despite that, he always took the time to relax and see things for what they are. He was the kind of person that would sit down and watch paint dry, which was rather boring for most, but he took enjoyment out of watching life move by, as he seemed to be quite enjoyable with his life right now. It's like sometime he was an old man who's been through it already, and he wanted to just relax right now. But he was going a bit overboard, Kakashi thought to himself. I don't really dislike that much, said Naruto. Well, arrogant people, said Naruto. People that believe that you're untouchable, like they're some kind of gods. My dream is to have a wonderful family someday, when I retire from being a ninja, said Naruto. You sound like you have your entire life already planned out, said Kakashi. Yeah, pretty much, said Naruto. So how about you, sensei? What do you want? My dreams are too much for you guys to know right now, said Kakashi. Anyway, tomorrow you come by Team 7 training ground, so that we can have the Genin test. What? Said Remy. Didn't we already do that? That test was the academy test to see if you can pass. The Genin test is to see if you're worthy for me to take you on as students. So tomorrow at 7, oh. And I would suggest that you don't eat. Yeah, that would be bad if you do. With that, he vanished. Well, it seems like he's trying to play us, said Shikamaru. How so, said Remy as she glanced towards Shikamaru. Telling a ninja not to eat. Doesn't that sound rather stupid to you? For one, you would be lightheaded and not to mention hungry to take on any task. Perhaps this is a way for him to psych us out. Ninjas use tricks after all, you have to remember that. Yeah, I guess you're right there, she said. You know, for being so lazy, you make up for it by being smart. Alright, Naruto, you heard that, she said. Remember to eat. As Naruto nodded, he already knew that. And make sure that you guys show up at 7 sharp. And don't be late, she said. As she walked off. Who put her in charge? Said Shikamaru. That's her whole thing, said Naruto. She likes to be in charge. Shikamaru sighed. No, that's troublesome, he said. That's one of my dislikes. To be in a team with someone that is too troublesome. Especially with her being a girl. What's wrong with that, said Naruto. You're her friend for some time now, and you haven't realized. Well, I guess you're just too kind of a person. Or maybe it's just all an act, said Shikamaru. What do you mean, said Naruto. Shikamaru simply shrugged. A slip of the tongue, he said as he walked off. As Naruto watched him leave, he knew that Shikamaru suspected that he was hiding something big. He was his best friend and Shikamaru was too smart. As Naruto had mistakenly told him when the rain would fall, twice now. As Shikamaru had to wonder how the hell did he do that. As he thought that Naruto was hiding something big. But what he didn't actually know. But he was hiding something, but, well, he wouldn't find out what it was. Because it sounded quite ridiculous if he said it out loud. As he calmly made his way home. Upon arriving, he saw that his siblings were already there. You guys finished as well? We have a test tomorrow, said Mito. Yeah, us too. Figure, said Naruto, they want to see if we're fit to be real Genins. But I doubt that they will fail us. I mean, we were already picked for this team. You know what I think, said Mito. It's gonna be all about teamwork. Huh? How so? Well, think about it. For the most of the academy, they told us that we should always rely on our team members, and teamwork is the right thing to do. So I think it's gonna be all about that. For us to rely on each other as members. You know, you're probably right, said Naruto. I mean, that's the main thing that they try to drill in our head. Everything's about teamwork, and that you can rely on your teammates. Guess we'll have to see what the test is tomorrow. As they made their way. Hey mom, said Naruto. Yes, honey? Did you speak to Kakashi? Oh, I heard that he was gonna be your Jonin sensei from your father. So I figured I'd have some words with him. You threatened him, didn't you? Kushina looked appalled by that. Why would you say such a thing, honey? Me, your mother, threatening someone? As Naruto started to laugh a bit. Well, he was early. He better be, she said. Well, thanks for that, said Naruto. Or thank you to anyone who might have made Kakashi arrive early. They say that you're welcome, said Kushina, as she watched her son smile. It always made her happy to see her children smile. And Kakashi was going to be late as usual, so she had a little talk with him. And he decided to be early. Well, her talk worked. The next day, as they arrived at Training Ground 7, it was 7 o'clock. As Naruto glanced around as he saw, Remy was already there waiting for them. As she had her sword strapped on her back. As Shikamaru was just arriving as well. Right on time, she said. As she glanced around, it seems like he's going to be late again today. Well, if you knew his original time, you'd be quite angry, Remy. Usually he's 3 or 4 hours late. By that much. It's a good thing that he decided to be early for once then. Well, my mother had something to do with it, said Naruto. I would have to thank her next time I see her, said Remy, as Naruto chuckled a bit. Shikamaru on the other hand looked quite pissed off though. Hey, what's wrong? Not even the academy start this early, said Shikamaru. Why did we have to be here at 7? And he's not even here yet. Calm down, said Naruto. Don't tell me to calm down. That's one of my main dislikes. Being woken up so early for no reason at all. Where the hell is he, said Shikamaru, as Naruto saw that he was actually angry. Waking up this early did not suit him one bit, as Naruto saw the bags under his eyes. It seems like he barely got enough sleep. The man then arrived in a poof. You, he said, greeting them with a smile. Ah, you're here, Kakashi-sensei. Thought you'd have been much later. Nope, right on time. I can tell my mother that you were early then. That's not the reason why I'm early, said Kakashi. Could have fooled me, said Naruto, considering that you've been late for most things. So what's this big test of yours? Asked Remy, as she got involved. Kakashi pulled out 2 bells. It was quite simple. You're to get a bell from me. If you don't get one by the time is up, as he pulled out the timer, you will be sent back to the academy. But there's only 2, said Shikamaru. Yes, exactly, that means one of you will be sent back to the academy. Is that so? Said Remy. Yes, said Kakashi. You have to come at me with the intent to kill as well. Because otherwise you won't be getting a bell. Understood? Understood, all 3 of them said. Alright? Go. With that they vanish. All of them reappearing in one spot in the forest. I have an idea, said Remy. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I have never seen a 2-man team yet with a single Jonin sensei. Unless it's some strange apprenticeship or something like that. But we are a normal team, so I doubt that this is some special event. I've already seen right through it, said Shikamaru. He wants us to work together. Exactly, said Remy. To test if we will work together or fight as one, or fight against each other, said Naruto. She nodded. Seeing that there's only 2, he wanted to see if we will turn against each other to see which one of us will get the bell. But we're not going to do that. We're going to fight as a unit. Alright, Shikamaru. Your clan is known to be the main strategist of the village. What idea you have in that head of yours, she asks. Well, I did come up with something, he said. But it's not going to be easy, he is a Jonin sensei after all. I think it's just us working as a team will let us pass. I don't really think that we have to get the bell, said Remy. But if we have to, let's give it to our all, okay? As they nodded, Kakashi was narrowing his gaze over toward the side. All of them were together, he could sense their chakra signature. It was then that he felt a lot more popped up. Shadow clones, huh? Must be Naruto. Being that Uzumaki had a rather high reserves. Naruto was always special growing up. No one could tell exactly what were his eyes, and why did they look that way. He had a 7-point star in each eye that glow, as it was just immaculate. No one could tell if it was a bloodline or anything, but he's never shown any bloodline ability before, so they didn't really know. But he still had high reserves like the Uzumaki's. Kakashi waited until he saw kunais were thrown. He dodged them as they embedded into the tree. That is when he sent something as he spun around and grabbed the hand of Remy. Smart. Transform yourself in a kunai. but they're gonna have to be a lot smarter. Poof! All of the kunais reverted back into Naruto, forcing Kakashi to leap away. As he quickly leaped away and landed, the moment he did, Shadow lashed out towards his, but he flipped back, avoiding the shadow. As he turned to see Shikamaru curse, as his shadow position technique failed. He looked over as he looked over for the real one, but he couldn't tell which one was the real one. Naruto's shadow clones equally distribute his chakra between them, so he could not tell. He glanced behind him as a kunai was launched with an explosive tag. They're going right to the get-go, huh? He threw a kunai of his own and deflected as it exploded. He was gone. He reappeared behind Remy. A genjutsu already locked on her. The world around her started to twist and twirl as the ground cracked open and spiraled outwards. But she poofed away, showing that it was a clone. Another one? As Naruto attacked him, he leaped from the tree, where he was hiding the entire time. Kakashi realized the first kunai that were thrown, one of them had embedded in the tree, all along. Rather smart move. He blocked the first fist, as he twisted and threw Naruto down towards the ground. Flipping, Naruto landed rather softly, as he moved forward. Kakashi kept his eye on Naruto until Naruto's speed tripled within a second. As Naruto reappeared behind him, he's fast. Kakashi tilted his body as a fist passed him. He grabbed Naruto's wrist and flipped him over, but Naruto placed a palm on his chest and pushed back, using the momentum. He then landed, as it was a kunai on the ground, his feet touched it. He focused chakra to the bottom of his feet, as he controlled the kunai and tossed it. Kakashi was surprised. He knew that Minato and Kushina were working on their training, but they were so advanced already. Kakashi blocked the kunai as it stabbed right behind him. Naruto then jumped away as Remy launched 3 kunais as she went through hand sign. Kunai clone jutsu, she said. As they multiplied, he deflected all of them, as they clung and clashed all around him. It was then that Shikamaru used his shadow as he connected the shadow of the kunais, as he twisted and turned. Kakashi saw it as it boomed from another one to another one, but he couldn't focus too much on that as Naruto tackled towards him. He kicked Naruto out of the way, but Remy came down with her blade. Kakashi pulled one of the kunais as he blocked her blade. He flipped and landed on one of the kunais so his shadow would not get caught. He just needed a split second as he pushed back Remy. She poofed away, showing that she was a clone. The ground then split open as her blade came right up, right towards his face, forcing him to jump back. He saw the shadow of Shikamaru. He landed as he got caught. "We caught you," said Naruto. "You're not the only ones that can make clones," said Kakashi, as he poofed away. He reappeared distance away. "You're gonna have to do a lot better than that." "Oh, I don't think so," said Naruto. Kakashi looked at him confused. "What do you..." As Kakashi then felt, "What the hell?" The bells poofed away in his hands. "When did you..." "You're not the only one that knows genjutsu," said Remy. "You were so preoccupied on us. You were not focusing too much on the bells, considering that we never went after them. We just fought you. You thought that we were not ready to go after them. You were so focused on my shadows while you did not even notice the slight genjutsu Remy caused. It was not directed towards you but at the ground. There wasn't as much coolness as you thought. And the thing is," said Naruto, "Remy was in hiding the entire time, holding that genjutsu. We had to make sure that we caught you off guard because otherwise, you would have found out and break out of it instantly." "Yes, they're right," said Remy as she stepped out of the bushes. "So while you were preoccupied, we took them away. I must say we did a job. Well done. After all, you're a Jonin sensei, and we still managed to get the bells away from you." Kakashi clapped. "Well, I'm impressed," he said. "But the thing is..." "Who have the bells?" he said. "Oh, I do," said Naruto, as he raised his hand. "Well then, what are you gonna do now?" Naruto tossed the bells to Remy and Shikamaru. "We all pass. And how do you figure?" said Kakashi. "We know it's about teamwork," said Naruto. "So come on, don't waste our time. Tell us that we pass." Kakashi chuckled a bit. "I have already deemed that the 3 of you would pass. For one, you work well together, from the moment I saw you 3 playing together. And you also figure out this real reason of my test. I'm impressed. No other team was able to figure out this reason that I've trained so far." I see good things coming with you, Team 7, he said. So why don't we make this official? From here on out, we are Team 7. As Remy smiled at that. Despite his laziness, Shikamaru was rather smart. His intellect for coming up with plans was, well, in a league of its own. And Naruto was able to cover all levels. And with her abilities, it made the team perfect. They check all the boxes. As Kakashi saw the same thing as well. But guys, be in subs right here. If you want to see this person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification as they posted. But I'm out for now. Remember to share to all of your friends and social media platform. Peace, guys.